What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the show. You're now tuned in to For Real for Mainstream. And today's topic, we're going to get into a recap of the weekend. What we're basically going to be talking about, I'm going to be giving you guys my overall my predictions of the final last 7 games in the WNBA season. So I'm going to tell you guys what I think about the playoffs. It's mainly specifically about 4 particular teams. So mainly, we're going to talk about, like as you guys know, about a title. I think personally that the Chicago Sky are in trouble. Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky are in trouble. I think they're in very big trouble. Now, as you guys can see, we're towards the end of the season, and you have about 7 or 6 games left, and then it's going to be time for the playoffs. Now, we already know between the 1st and 6th seed, we know that's pretty locked up. I can even go so far to say the 1 through 7 seed is pretty much locked up. I will say that definitely there's a couple of teams, but mainly specifically the Indiana Fever have been playing the best basketball in the second half of the season. So right now, if we be talking about just specifically pertaining to the second half of the season, the Indiana Fever would be the top team right now. But we know with the first half of the season, we can't discredit that. So we know that's not what the case is, but they're playing very well, very good. And I think they're ranked number 3 in the Eastern Conference right now. So as you guys all know, there's only 8 spots in the playoffs, 8 teams. That's both involving basically the Eastern and Western Conference. So basically, the reason why I'm saying the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese is in trouble is because they're in a 14 race with only 7 games left in it, and at the end of the season before the playoffs start. And the reason why I think that the Chicago Sky are in trouble, and this is no hatred towards Angel Reese, is not attacking her, even though I have my personal views and our views of her, but I still like her as a ball player. But back to the point at hand, the Chicago Sky are in trouble. And the reason why I say that the Chicago Sky are in trouble, because there is a 4-way race for that last spot in the playoff, the 8th seed. And there's 4 teams. You have the Chicago Sky, you have the Washington Mystics, and you have the Atlanta Dream, and you have the Dallas Wings. Those 4 teams are in a race for that final spot. The reason why I say the Chicago Sky are in trouble because they don't have an easy schedule for the remaining 7 games. They have some very key games, important games in the last 7 games. They have to face the Dallas Wings definitely, I think, right before the season ends, which that's going to be a very key, vital game, I think. Also, the Washington Mystics. You guys got to look out for the Washington Mystics, because even though right now I think they're ranked 10th, I think they are going to win a couple of next games. So I look at it, I see it, I'm putting it between either the Atlanta Dream or the Washington Mystics are going to take that 8th spot. I definitely won't discredit Dallas Wings, but the thing is, the Dallas Wings, they have already, if you're talking about the matchup versus the Indiana Fever have they basically have the advantage over them. And the Washington Mystics, like I said, they're pretty good as well. But the Chicago Sky, they have been losing a lot of games, especially ever since the second half of the season. They have lost a lot of games. They've barely, I think, only won 1 game, if I'm not mistaken. They've lost damn near like 6 games, and that's not good for them. As I said, the problem with the Chicago Sky is the Chicago Sky has not figured out how to play with each other. They're still trying to play that, throw it into Angel Reese and let Angel Reese just do whatever. And you can see that is not going to work. Like I said, this is not the collegiate level. This is the professional league, and that is not going to work when you're coming into professional leagues. If Angel Reese doesn't figure it out and get it together, it's going to be it's going to be a very rough, shall I say, couple of first few seasons for Chicago Sky and Angel Reese. Now, as I said, if I'm talking about those 4 teams, my best bet as far as making the 8th seed, I'm more looking at the Atlanta Dream or the Washington Mystics, because I think those 2 teams, I think they have the best chance of winning a couple of games to maybe lock up that 8th seed. So I think it'll be a battle between the Washington Mystics and the Atlanta Dream, who gets that 8th final spot, 8th seed in the playoffs. I don't think that the Chicago Sky is going to make the playoffs. I think that they have some very important games, and I don't see that they're going to win those games. I think, number 1, the Dallas Wings are going to beat them, which that's going to be a very crucial game. So both of them teams are going to be looking to play hard. But the Dallas Wings, that matchup they have against the Dallas Wings, that's going to be a vital key matchup. Also, I believe the Chicago Sky do have to play the Atlanta Dream once again. And like I said, I just think Atlanta Dream, they're playing pretty decent basketball, and so is the Washington Mystics. I think with these final 7 games, I think the Washington Mystics and the Atlanta Dream will finish with a better record than the Chicago Sky, which will bounce Chicago Sky out of the playoffs. So I'm curious to know what you guys think. You guys may have a different opinion. I know a lot of you guys, you don't want to hear that. A lot of you guys are just obsessed with Angel Reese, and you just think, oh, Angel Reese, everything. I mean, like I said, she's a phenomenal player, but I'm just speaking as far as the team overall. I don't think right now that team overall is clicking together, and I think there are a lot of multiple problems and issues with that team, which will further upcoming uploads, we will talk about that and talk about the upcoming future for the Chicago Sky. But as I said, with those 4 teams racing for that final spot in the playoffs, I think I'm either going to put my money on Atlanta Dream or the Washington Mystics to take that last final spot in the AFC. Now, Dallas Wings could pull something off, and they could wind up getting that final seed. But the thing is, they have a couple of games that's going to be rough for them. I believe they have to play the Aces again, and that's going to affect them. They have to play Indiana again, and that's going to be tough in Indiana. The same thing with Chicago. Chicago has to play Dallas. They have to play Phoenix. They have to play Aces, the Las Vegas Aces again. So I think it's going to be very rough for the Chicago Sky at the end of the season. But that's all I have for you guys. I wanted to just give you guys my quick brief of what I think how the playoffs is going to turn out before we get into these. Before we get to the end of this season, I'm just giving you guys my predictions for who will make that final spot seed. I think that the Chicago Sky will probably finish the season ranked number 9th or probably 10th. But that's all I have for you guys. Curious to know what you guys think. Who do you guys think will make that final spot AFC? Curious to know. Spam in the comments, let me know. Who do you think will make that final spot in the playoffs? Will it be the Washington Mystics? Will it be the Chicago Sky? Will it be the Dallas Wings? Or will it be the Atlanta Dream? But that's all I have for you guys. I want to thank you guys once again for tuning in. So until next time, you guys already know the